This is Luis Garavito, the world's worst serial killer. He is known to have killed at least 140 people, possibly even more. Today, we have a chance to gain insight into his life. Welcome to the CNP News Channel. I'm Camille Anderson, and I'm here with infamous Colombian serial killer, Luis Garavito, aka The Beast. Many people know him as the world's worst serial killer. Hello, Luis. The audience, for some reason, would like to know more about you. Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Okay, that is fine with me.
Okay, so tell me about your childhood.
Well, I was born in Colombia. I was the oldest of 7 children, and I was often abused by my father and my neighbors.
What was your father like?
He was an alcoholic. He didn't have a good relationship with my mother, and he used to beat me and my mother, and he would commit many crimes saying that he was serving the devil.
Do you think what your dad did led you to become how you are today?
I mean, I guess it could have impacted me, but what I did were my own choices.
What about education? Did you have a good education?
I only went to school for 5 years, and then I left my house when I was 16. Education was not important for me.
Did you work anywhere? It must have been hard to find a job with only 5 years of education.
Most kids could find jobs without having schooling. I worked as a street vendor and a store clerk, and I sold prayer cards and religious icons.
That sounds like a fairly normal work life. What about relationships? Since you left home when you were 16, did you have any friends or anything that you were close to?
Not really. I moved around a lot, so I didn't make many friends. I had a girlfriend, and she had a kid, and we got along, but I haven't seen her since I started killing people.
So why did you move around so much?
I don't know. I guess people got tired of having me.
Are you sure that's all that happened? I heard that you were forced to leave because you were behaving aggressively.
I guess you could say that, but I don't remember what happened. I was drunk most of the time.
Did you have a drinking problem?
No. I liked alcohol, but I wasn't an alcoholic or anything. Nothing like my father.
Alright, I think that's enough about your background. Now let's get into the stuff that everyone wants to know about. The stuff that made you become the most hated man in Colombia.
Your murders.
So, when did you commit your first murder?
I'm pretty sure it was in 1992.
And how many people have you killed?
Well, I've confessed to 147.
And how did you select your victims?
They were all poor young boys. The youngest I remember was 6 and the oldest was 16.
How come they were all poor young boys?
Well, most of the kids in Colombia were poor and homeless. A lot of them lived on the street. Homelessness was a big thing in Colombia. So if I killed poor people, people wouldn't notice. But if I captured rich people, people would have noticed very quickly.
Oh, that's sad, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So how'd you pull off these murders?
Well, I would often lure them with gifts like cash or candy, and I would give them jobs that they could make easy money off of. I would usually disguise myself like a priest or a homeless man and change them often so no one would get suspicious. I would walk them off until they get tired and vulnerable, and then I would torture them and kill them.
Can you describe how you were eventually captured?
Well, the police found 27 bodies of the kids I killed.
Wow, that is a lot of kids.
At first they thought it was ritualistic, but after some testing they found physical evidence that it was me. I also have a rare eye condition that makes me have to wear special glasses, which I no longer have.